should've loved you more, and the flowers that wouldn't grow in my garden. I'll ignore the signs from the universe, just like the time that you told me about the heartache. So your name will always be a cue of all the places I said we would run to. We would run to. Toss a match into the sheets, lit the letters too. How can I rid myself of you? Well, the moon and nice words to say, better off leaving things this way, just how I left you. I mastered the art of illusion. It was only me I was losing. Loving you was never wrong. Loving you was never wrong. Toss a match into the sheets, lit the letters too. How can I rid myself of you? I was told to be patient. Some said that time would do the trick, but you know me, impatient. I'll watch the clock hand. Toss a match into the sheets, lit the letters too. How can I rid myself? How can I rid myself of you? I've been sleeping fine. I've been sleeping all of the time, but I lost track of time. I lost track of all that was mine. Wait for me. Wait for me. You were mine to hold. Now the nights they grow so cold. When you get so old, If you find me on your way, don't pass by, I wish you would stay. It came without a warning. Awake the night, placing bets on shooting stars, naming all the constellations after bars. You were the biggest dipper, the villain in my childhood fears, connecting the dots to how you made it here. Maybe we don't grow old forever. Instead, we just grow far apart. If love's a home, then mine is going. A long goodbye on this cold morning. Dream I lost all my teeth. The widow's weeping, but I can hear a sound. The sweeter taste, the heavier burden. My teenage town was all but burning down. Went to the place that you remember. Oh, and the wind had turned me back around. Where do you go with no conviction? Take the memories, oh, we can't take the ground. Maybe we don't grow old forever. Instead, we just grow far apart. If love's a home, then mine is going. A long goodbye on this cold morning. Maybe we don't grow old forever. Instead, we just grow far apart. If love's a home, then mine is going. A long goodbye on this cold morning. A long goodbye on this cold morning. I kept your ring, and yesterday's simple things tucked away so nobody can see. Woke up at 9, and I could smell the burning coffee. You kept forgetting all the time. It's funny how we always forget about the time. Rest assured in time. Rest assured I'm fine. Rest easy. glad we ever cash him in so cheap. We tried to live like kings and queens and borrowed things and someone else's dime. It's funny how we always forgot about the time. Rest assured in time. Rest assured I'm fine. Rest easy, I'll rest in time. Your golden memory I kept safe with me, but slowly I'm forgetting. That's what's killing me. Rest assured in time. Rest assured I'm fine. Rest easy, I'll rest in time. Rest easy, I'll rest in time. Tell me, babe, did I turn you cold? Did I ruin that heart of gold, that hopeful heart of yours? Tell me, babe, is there innocence in death? White roses on your desk, why don't you let it rest? Told me I was a mess. Told me to go find myself. Why don't you go find yourself? Take it back, at least that's what you said. Those dirty words in your head. Why don't you go fuck yourself? You got a couple new tattoos and someone who would dance with you. You got a couple new tattoos and someone who would dance with you. You got a couple new tattoos and someone who would dance with you. You got a couple new tattoos. Hear me now, wither flowers in a vase. I was just another face in a crowded space. And you thought you couldn't break my heart. I guess you're not who you portrayed in your art. Got a couple new tattoos and someone who would dance with you. You got a couple new tattoos and someone who would dance with you. You got a couple new tattoos and someone who would dance with you. You got a couple new tattoos. I've been trying lately, caught up on the other side. And I've been crying lately, trying to do what they think's right. And I've been crying, but it's the fire that makes the ore. And I've been dying, but I'm tired and I'm sore. Please don't leave me now. I'm not old enough to let you go. And it's a silly thing, but it's got me on my hands and knees. And I've been crying, but you're the one who called the storm. And I've been dying, all I ever did was ask what for. Is cracked, this house is empty. And you'll never know how this affects me. I've been crying, but it's the fire that makes the ore. And I've been dying, but I'm tired and I'm sore. And I've been crying, but you're the one who called the storm. And I've been dying, all I ever did was ask what for. This house is empty. And you'll never know how this affects me. Foundation is cracked, this house is empty. And you'll never know how this affects me.
Tessa and Allison, whose last name I'm not going to try and pronounce, but you could do it because it looks like a tough one.
Weird Chuck.
Weird Chuck. So there we go. I feel like I'd say it wrong.
Yeah. It is very Polish, and we've gotten many different pronunciations of it.
Which is probably why you're not using your names as a recording alias.
Exactly.
Smart. Where did Jackamo come from?
Do you want to tell?
I'll
tell the story.
Okay.
So, Jackamo, it's actually a last name. My grandparents had a friend when they went to high school. He went off to the Vietnam War. Unfortunately, he died. And he was friends with both my grandparents. And so the Wall That Heals came around about 2-3 years ago.
It came to Michigan, and it was really close by to where we lived.
Mm-hmm.
So you and Mom had wanted to go see if his name they were able to find it.
Yeah. So my mom and I found it. It's spelled very strangely, not how we spell it. It's kind of spelled like Jackie Mac, but it was pronounced Jackamo. So we found the name. I messaged my sister and I was like, "Hey, what if we use this as our band name?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Well, we had been going through the motions, which I think not everybody, but a lot of people who do music, they struggle with the band name. It's huge. So we were doing the name generator, and we asked so many people, and it was something about when Allie called me and she just said it was beautiful, you know what? And I think that this is a great band name. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's the one. And so we just stuck with it, and it's grown on us completely. And I think a lot of other people think it fits us. I don't know what it is, but I think it's
yours now.
Yes.
You can't change. Well, I guess you could change.
You can't go back now.
No, you could, but it's a good one. It works.
Thank
It's
you.
memorable. Well, you brought up Mom, and we were talking a little bit before we started the broadcast here, but Mom and Dad had to have some influence on what you guys did. Tell me a little bit about growing up in your household. I guess we'll take turns. Tessa, you start.
Oh my gosh, we were so lucky. I mean, music was always it was always every dinner we had. There was an album on. Our parents. My dad used to play guitar. My mom would sing. I'm kidding, but she music was our life. That was all our whole family. Every family gathering, everybody was singing around the campfire or anything. And we were brought up to just appreciate it. And I mean, our first concert we went to is either Wilco. Yeah, Wilco. Cool. And we got to go down into like the pit with our parents, and we were on their shoulders, and that's just always been our life. But
and lots of fond memories of, my sister and I kind of peeking over the balcony, and we have this fireplace downstairs, and my parents would be listening to like Damien Rice, on like a Saturday night, and Tess and I would be like, oh my gosh, like the music just meant so much to us.
Yeah.
It told a story to us. And I think like with Wilco and Damien Rice and Joni Mitchell and all these people that, we were brought up to love. And we still do.
We just want to be like them now,
Yeah. I mean, for me, there's a few albums I can think of when I hear songs from them. I can immediately picture being in the car with my mom.
Yeah.
8-track player in the car. And I flash back to that white Chrysler LeBaron that we had. And I bet you guys have albums or songs that are like that in your history as well. Allison, think of something that puts you in a spot. Think of an album or a song that puts you in a spot in your life right now.
An album recently, Jeff Buckley Grace. It was his birthday yesterday. I've been thinking a lot about him in the past couple weeks. I don't know why, but he's just been a constant in my mind, and I love his voice.
Does that take you to a place in your youth when you're with your parents?
Yep, my parents love Jeff Buckley. Mainly when we would have like graduation parties, retirement parties at our house. We have a big backyard. At the end of the night, my dad would always put on Jeff Buckley at like 2 a.m. I'd be hearing "Lover, You Should Have Come Over." I'd be like, wow.
Or you should leave because it's 2 in the morning.
It's 2 a.m. Time for everybody to leave.
Tessa, is there an album that brings a memory like that to you?
I think Wilco AM. It reminds me of the summer at our house, always just like she said, like our big speakers in our backyard. And Wilco AM just reminds me of like that summer heat and that being a kid running around barefoot and just hearing that music. We would go out into the woods and we'd come back and you could hear it everywhere. And I think just, definitely summer. Yeah.
You guys realize how much cooler you are than most people your age, right? I mean, that's not going to be the same answer I would get from most people your age.
I love it. Thank you.
No, it's good. It's a good thing. Again, there's a performance from September of this year that we're going to get to in this Grove session that you guys performed out in the parking lot of Grove Studios. And if you're watching these, you probably already are familiar with Grove Studios. If you're not, and you're following this because Jackamo was one of your favorite acts, well, check out Grove Studios. That's a really cool space where you can do a podcast, you can do a DJ set, you can bring your band in for practice. And they've already interviewed you guys about 25 weeks ago and sang your praises and did such a great job of it. It was
the sweetest people.
They
here.
They really are the sweetest people. Do you remember the first time you guys stepped on stage and did a performance and how that felt?
Yeah.
In front of other people that weren't your family?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
A bunch of times.
I think, I don't think, we both grew up in plays and in choir, and her more than I, but she was always on the stage, so she got used to it. But as a band, we played together, not as Jackamo, but we had done a small little band before, and it was actually at the Token Lounge. And I remember I was still in high school, and
they let you in.
It was, right?
Yes, it took a lot.
And, but it was really cool. It kind of like you said, like instead of just in front of your family, to hear other people genuinely enjoying your music, other than mom and dad saying you're great.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing, and I think ever since then, we've never looked back.
Yeah, it was surreal. It's addicting, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Soul feeding.
Yes, soul feeding, extremely healing too.
Yeah.
It's really
from the very beginning.
Yeah, we miss it.
I miss being in the audience to watch it. I
Yes.
actually have not seen you guys perform live other than on a virtual,
Right.
and I want to see you perform live now. Now that I've seen that,
Oh, thank you.
some great songs going on in the catalog already, and I would love it if there was a full album to consume. We were talking about albums before we started this session as well, and I wonder if that. I mean, I know we talked about the fact that the generational thing more is drawn to singles, but you guys talked about consuming an album in full and just sitting and enjoying it.
Yeah.
So what would you rather do? Would you rather release singles or would you rather release an album?
I think we're kind of
what's the
both
actual-
ways. I think we're both ways. I think, to satisfy this newer generation of, liking the singles. I don't know. I think we have to be very careful about how we do it and how we go about it, and very strategic. So I don't know. We're kind of split between the middle on that.
We've gone back and forth. We are hoping to early next year, 2021, to finally release music out to people, and we've gone back and forth a lot. What's the best way to do it right now? I think we've talked about a bunch of different ideas.
Because we love to obviously consume albums in their full, but then looking at the types of ways people are listening to music now, we're like, okay.
They hear a single on a Spotify playlist, and that's all they know from that artist. I don't know if all of the time they do go to search, do they have a whole album out? Once again, people consume their music in different ways, but I think we have talked about maybe releasing a couple singles to start, then just followed by the full album.
That would be a typical way to do it, actually.
Right, the kind of the best of both worlds.
Get people liking it and then give them the rest.
Give them it all.
Yeah,
but,
you have been performing for a while, so it's like you have an audience, and you probably know who your audience is at this point.
Yes.
But my experience with the kind of music that you're doing and as independent artists, I'm going to argue this. I still think there's an advantage to putting out some sort of physical CD or record, so that at the end of the show, people come and say hello, and you have something to sign, and they can take that home, even if it's a calling card. It's it may be a physical piece of music that's your calling card, but it's something that they can, if they've never seen you before, you were an opening act at a show. How are they going to remember you?
Right.
They're going to remember because they have this thing that you signed. Oh my God, I got to meet Jackamo. I mean, no, seriously, because that's an important thing to experience as a listener. And if I really am into somebody, I'd rather say hello and have you sign it. So
right.
We not to interrupt, but we had gone. I don't know if you're familiar with So Far Sounds. Very cool, very very cool. We had gone to one, I believe, last year sometime, and it was a couple act, and they were called Bergamot, and we love them, and we grabbed their CD after, and I kind of, like you said, like that was my tangible thing to be like, this was an awesome band. It's still in our car, I believe, and I'll throw it in every once in a while. I still follow them on Spotify. I still, you know, but yeah, I agree. Having that tangible piece of something
to listen to and overplay, like Ida May, I've been really into lately. I went to go see them twice actually when they were in Michigan. They had just their EP, and there's only like 4 songs on it, but it was in our car playing on repeat, you know.
So for sure, definitely having that.
The tangible, you know, something that people can remember you for.
Well, despite not having that, despite not even really having a website I can go to learn more about you, you've been getting a lot of attention, which is well-deserved. The Ferndale set, CBS Detroit wrote about you. Where is this coming from? This is congratulations.
Thank you.
Pat on the back, but how is that happening? A lot of people will be anxious to have that kind of attention without even having any music out.
Definitely. I think it's just networking, meeting people. Tess and I are very communicative people, and we love to talk and be around people. And I think just playing live is where we were getting these things before, having, you know, some great friends around. But I think now we're ready to take that step to be like reaching out further than, you know, what we know, and being able to have people from different states know who we are, you know, not just Michigan and Michigan alone, but all these other states. I think, you know, I guess just before, I think it was just people seeing us live and just coming to shows that we were on, and, you know, word of mouth and talking and meeting people. That's always been a big thing for us.
And I think we recently realized throughout all of this that you do need that online presence. It's crucial.
That's all you have right now.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have been working really hard on getting everything ready. Again, I hate to use the new year as like saying, oh, it's a new beginning, but I do truthfully believe now we do have everything in order to create that presence in the proper manner, in a way that will only benefit us rather than just being there now. So, yeah.
Yeah, a collection of your videos, a good bio, pictures from performances, places you've played. I mean, it's all essential information for people like me who want to chat with you and get to know you better, or if they're, maybe you're getting a song placement, if you're searching into that as a way to get more exposure, song placements would be really important. I mean,
Definitely.
Just yesterday I watched a movie that was recommended to me, an Amazon original movie, and I heard a song in it, and I actually watched the credits because like I need to know what that was, and then I went and looked up on my computer and I saved it for a future acoustic alternatives playlist. So Striking Matches will be heard on a future playlist because I heard it in a movie. That's the kind of thing that can advance a career. I'd heard of them before, but that will be a song that is going to stick with me for a while now because it has this pictures behind it. So
isn't that funny?
That is
kind of funny.
We're always looking up like who's the music supervisor on this, because we like hear like 10 songs. We've been watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, that's been
and every episode I'm like, God, I love this song.
It's been a vehicle
what is this from?
for a lot of things.
Literally, we're like, oh my
Definitely.
gosh. Every episode, I think we're like, oh wow, who's the music supervisor?
And that too goes back to the online presence. It's when, I mean, I'll go down the rabbit hole of, oh my gosh, look at this band's cool website, or look at, they do this as a band, and then I find a new band. And so we're gonna get that online presence and actually make it what it needs to be. And so
It's an awkward time to try to be making a spread beyond Michigan, but we will get past this, and you will get a chance to do these things. But meanwhile, as musicians, which is probably your primary thing you do, or the thing that you think that you are more than anything else that you are, what are you doing to keep busy during? I mean, there's got to be money coming in, and it can't be coming in from performances right now. So, is it okay to ask what you guys are doing?
Totally. We've been freelance writing actually. You know, I hear a lot of people kind of not talk down about it, but question why I chose to do that and why Tessa chooses to do that. But we do it so that we have time to, you know, we can work whenever we want. So it's not like I have to go in for a 9 to 5. I can just choose when I want to work, and then the rest of the time we can spend doing our music and writing and enjoying each other's company. You know, and it's important for us to have that. It's important for us to be able to be like, you know, cool, I can set this aside. This is where I'm making the money right now, but this is important, and we have to be here at 11, or we have to be here at noon, or we have to do this, you know, interview at 2. Like, we have time to do that. So I think it was important for us to find a job that was flexible.
It takes a lot of self-discipline, though. I mean, we both were waitresses for a very long time, and it was not impossible. I mean, everybody has the same amount of time in a day, but we would get home, we would be exhausted, and we wouldn't want to spend time on music, or we couldn't get our shift covered, so no, we couldn't play that gig. And so it's not easy to do freelancing. It takes so much self-discipline and organization.
Putting yourself out there, because you're not facing anybody. You know, you kind of have to do this on your own and figure out, okay, this will work, or this client will work, or this one won't. You know, you're
kind of just in charge of yourself and if you're gonna make money or not. And so we
staying afloat.
Yes, we chose to do that, and we live together, we work together, we do everything together, and we're really lucky to be on the same page.
And still like each other too.
Yeah,
yes.
Sometimes we fight.
No, come on.
Like every
happens.
sister does, right?
What is the age differential?
3 years. I'm the older one.
Yeah. So she's, how old are you?
25.
25. I'm 22.
You don't remember?
How old are you again?
I don't know.
You sound like Dad.
Jeez.
But yeah, so we, it's like the perfect, we sometimes say it's like the perfect balance. I mean, in some ways.
We do have a roommate, Molly, who's our, sometimes
she's a
our
buffer.
Okay, good.
If we need a break from each other, we go talk to Molly.
But
Okay,
we,
good. Thanks, Molly.
Yeah,
Thanks, Molly.
in some ways, Allie she has some, what is the word I'm looking for? You have some qualities that I lack, and I have some qualities that you lack, and I think together it makes for a good team.
There's something I discovered as I've been doing interviews for many years and listening to music for more years than I've been doing interviews, is that there's something about sibling harmony that can't be duplicated by non-siblings.
True.
I have a hypothesis why that is, and I brought that up when I got to interview, what did they call themselves? The two sisters that are in the Dixie Chicks did a side project. I forget the name of the project, the Courtyard Hounds.
Okay.
And
Yes.
it was during that interview that it finally struck me what I think is the reason. So I'm just curious, as sisters, why do you think your harmonies are so much better? Maybe you don't think that is. Why would you think that harmonies of siblings would be better? What's your ideas on that?
I think we share this undeniable bond that we've shared our entire lives. You know, I was only without her for 3 years, and other than that, we've grown up for each other. I've only left the state I lived in a different state for a year. I think that was the longest time we've ever been apart. I think living and breathing and doing these things together has strengthened that, and being able to have grown up together, having that same background, that same upbringing, not uprising.
What did you do, Marla?
I think too, of course, and I mean it's the same. Even with our mom, people will call us and be like, "Wait, is this Allie or Tessa?" We talk very similar, so of course, like there's going to be that, and we always laugh too because we're lucky we don't have to double our voices often. It's just like, Allie, will you come in and sing this part, and so that's what I think. What was your conclusion as to?
First of all, it is messing with my head that I can't see your mouths move. Sometimes I'm not sure who's
Which one's
talking.
talking?
Exactly. But I think it's that you've heard each other's voices your entire life, and it's instinctively in your head, even without you couldn't forget that voice even if you wanted to, so you know where it's going to go.
Right.
I think that's what it is. I think
love that,
it's
yeah.
just you're so in tune with each other, having spent so much time together. Aw, little sisterly love there.
But yeah, I agree. I think it. Yeah, like she said, I mean, if anything, we haven't been apart I even saw you while you were in New York. So
Yeah.
You spent decades knowing each other, right? So
Yeah.
you couldn't unknow that voice. You couldn't unlearn how it's going to sound.
And I know, it sounds strange, but I can tell when, she's not comfortable doing a part, or if she's, needs me, or if I need her, she can tell. It's a very strange sisterly.
yeah, instinct.
Yeah.
Well, you're staying afloat during the pandemic. You're making enough money as writers. What is coming out musically speaking, writing? Is it stuff of joy, darkness, heartache? What categories are we writing in right now?
I feel
Or
like
all of them, maybe.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was thinking about this on the way here. I was like, I think all of our songs have different meanings at different points in our lives. I think, sometimes songs resonate more with me at a certain point in my life, and I think Tessa could say the same. I think a lot is heartache. I mean, we're 25 and 23. We don't know much. We're not going to be like, we know everything. Like, we're very, we have all these things figured out. I think a lot of it is just growing and learning, and I think that's a lot of our writing.
We write a lot about, like she said, like about our experiences, whatever it may be. We have a song we recently wrote about feeling. This is one of our newest ones that we wrote during everything. We wrote about being at a party and looking around you and feeling out of place, whereas everybody else seems to be fine, and that was just a random thought that we had, and we wrote a whole song about it, and we're adamant about making sure our music, everybody can connect to it. You know what I mean? We don't want to make somebody feel like, oh, well,
it has to be about this.
Right, like that's what this song is exactly about. We want people to interpret it however they please, and so, but yeah, recently I think heartache, a lot of heartache and just experiences that that we're missing. We're trying to relive these things and write about them. So, yeah.
Just angsty 25 and 23.
You can say I'm 23. I'm
Sorry,
22.
she's 22.
Your birthday must be coming up soon because she's pushing you.
It's past.
It just passed.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Whoops. don't
Calm
worry.
down.
Whoopsie.
But yeah.
Get ready for her to get older. 23.
I think when I was your age, I was not paying as much attention to lyrics as I do now.
Okay.
Lyrics are now more part of. I mean, I can like music for lots of different reasons, but definitely attaching myself to lyrics. Is that the same for you guys? Because you're writers, you're probably more attached to lyrics than you are to the melodies.
We definitely are. I think we're a little bit of both. We love to write the melody and we love to write the lyrics. I think usually the melody sometimes comes first.
Yeah.
But
it goes
changes.
back and forth, honestly. And we, because everybody will always ask, like, oh, well, what's your writing process? And for every song, it changes. I mean, it really does. Like our one song, Molly Kate, it stemmed from a poem that I had written. And then Allie made a melody, whereas our song, Second Best, Allie had the whole melody down. And then I added some lyrics and she added some lyrics. So it's ever changing. But lyrics, I pay more attention when listening, I think.
That's what I was getting to as a consumer. What is it
Yeah.
that draws you in? Is it the melody or is it the lyric?
Yeah,
Definitely lyrics,
I
I
think
think
lyrics. Yeah.
Sometimes it's both for me. I guess it depends on what it is. The certain kind of music is meant, the kind of music you perform is meant to be listened to for its content.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, the melodies are important too because you have to kind of remember it.
sure.
But what you're singing about is more like, ooh.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And when it goes hand in hand, it's like gold.
Yeah. I mean,
Whoa.
you stumbled onto something important.
Yeah.
I think, for instance, too, our drama teacher in high school, she one of her exercises she did was for us to take lyrics of a song and then perform them as a monologue with no music behind. And I did an Audio Slave song, actually.
I think I did too.
I can't even remember. And it gave me, I think that gave me a whole different perspective as well. Just to really, like, it's a story. It's somebody is telling a story. And ever since then, I don't think I've ever looked at lyrics the same. They're very important. So, yeah.
I'm strangely thinking of the Star Trek actor who's, why am I not thinking of his name? Not Leonard Nimoy, the other guy who records albums, has done stuff with Ben Folds. Come on, huge name.
I'm not
Yeah,
really
whatever.
familiar.
But his singing was more like, picture yourself on a boat, on a river.
I love
and
that.
it's the sort of like, oh yeah.
Yeah, he's-
Pay attention to these really weird lyrics the way he's
talking.
doing it. Yeah. Well, it's strange that my brain can't get to his name in my head, but
Oh my gosh. too
anyway.
funny.
So album coming out hopefully next year, at least many singles, hopefully new website to kind of go along with this
Oh,
web
yes.
presence we need to establish, and please some shows.
Yes.
Universe. I mean,
Please, universe.
yes, we're kind of in a spot where we're all desperate to see something
Yeah.
in front of us
Yeah.
in a venue with friends, with an amplified speaker system where
Totally.
the sound guy's getting paid and you guys are getting paid.
We're all happy.
Lights and drinks and all the things that make music
Happy
enjoyable.
people.
Oh yeah.
But meanwhile, we have this really great performance that was captured in the parking lot here at Grove Studios back in September. And I'm looking forward to people checking that out if they haven't seen it yet. I don't think they have. And I look forward to a day that I can see your faces with masks off,
Yes,
singing
thank
at
God.
me. Unless you want to sing something like a cappella. I'm going to give you that option. I'm going to throw it. If you want to do an a cappella thing, slip
What
off.
do we used to do in the car?
If
I used to have this horrible car. It was
we could do you and I if you want to go there.
If you do it, take the
Sure.
masks off because
Let's
it'll
go
sound a
there.
lot better.
Ready?
You want?
Masks off.
Yeah.
I
Here we
was
go.
gonna say
Into the microphones, though.
Ready? You want to clap?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't you worry there, my honey. We might not have any money, but we've got our love to pay the bills. Maybe I think you're cute and funny. Maybe I wanna do what bunnies do with you, if you know what I mean. Oh, let's get rich and buy our parents' homes in the south of France. Let's get rich and give everybody nice sweaters and teach them how to dance. Let's get rich and build a house on a mountain, making everybody look like ants. From way up there, you and I, you and I.
That'll be that little acapella moment for us. We haven't done that one in a minute, but I think
Cool.
I've sung that one many times at
Oh, yeah.
some concerts. And in fact, Ingrid has a Patreon thing. She sent to her Patreon fans. Basically, I want you to sing that part of the song and send me a video of it. And they're going to create some sort of a collage video. So I can't. You do not want to hear me sing it. No, you do not. But I send it anyway because it'll be mixed in with 100 other people, and it'll never be seen if she actually puts it together. But yes, and the other memory I have of Ingrid is the time I got to interview her, and on the way out, I gave her a goodbye hug, and she said, "You're a really good hugger." That's my memory of Ingrid. Yes.
We love her voice.
we used to, her car in high school didn't have a radio, so we would sing, and that was one of the ones that we
Yeah. We were
found the
our own
harmonies
radio.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah.
Tessa and Allison from Jackamo, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, John.
and I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing how things develop from this point forward. Please keep in touch, and let's do a performance sometime in these studios or somewhere where I can interview you and talk about your new album.
Yes.
Full album.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. It was
Thank
wonderful.
you, John. We appreciate it. This is nice for us. This feels
It's been great.
This is
My
very
pleasure.
important.
Check out Grove Studios if you haven't done so before. Great place to get your stuff done if you're in the music industry some way, shape, or form. They've got a rentable space for you. And thanks for joining us. And enjoy this performance from Jackamo.